fact of the matter here is, for 100 years now, the world has been fighting to eliminate the use of chemical weapons. And that statement in itself is telling. Because for nearly a century now, the world has only been trying to eliminate the deadly weapons. The Geneva Convention of 1925 prohibited the use of these weapons, but not the production or storage. But that changed in the last decade of the previous century. In 1992, a convention banned the storage and production as well. And that convention came into force 5 years later. Since then, 193 countries have acceded to the convention, and the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, has been tasked with inspecting the presence of these weapons. With regard to Syria, the OPCW even won the Nobel Peace Prize for its work in eliminating the chemical weapons in 2013. 6 years later, there is no accountability or punishment for countries flouting that very convention. Is this even right? On Wion Edit, we explored that specific question. There are 3 categories of chemical weapons, category 1, 2 and 3. Among the states which possess category 1 weapons, the US is yet to destroy its chemical weapons. Russia says it has destroyed the weapons in 2017. But the Salisbury attacks took place just last year in 2018, and that says a lot about Russia. Put simply, the 2 major military heavyweights continue to flout the regulations. This makes other countries follow suit as well. Syria has a dodgy record with chemical weapons. Since the involvement of Russia in the Syrian crisis in the year 2015, dozens of chemical attacks have been recorded by none other than the OPCW itself. And the efficacy of chemical weapons encourages the continued use. And this is an imminent danger. It is time to review the charter of the OPCW. The Chemical Weapons Convention seems too weak to handle this threat. Ineffective penalties have only intensified the problem, it seems. Escalating the issue at the UNGA or the UN Security Council is not going to be the deterrent. Over the last 40 years, the use of chemical weapons has been a recurring theme in every conflict. First, it was the Soviet Union in Afghanistan in 1979. Then use of these weapons reported in Vietnam War, Angola, Iran-Iraq War, Iraq attacks in 1988, the Gulf War, and now Syria. The list is long. Unless the big fish, the US, and the Russia also for that matter, forced to obey these conventions in letter and spirit, the situation is unlikely to change on the ground. The Nobel Peace Prize to the OPCW will mean next to nothing if the weapons are not abolished altogether. Stringent punishment is absolutely necessary, and trade sanctions will not be sufficient. The world cannot simply be silent and look away, because chemical warfare is a war against humanity at large.